Wednesday evening. Back for another YouTube live update on our incoming weather maker and cold front. We'll give it here, say 30 seconds to maybe a minute. We'll let people work their way in so we can get the information out to as many people as we can. Overall, we will see an increase in rain and snow showers overnight, but then some much colder air is coming in on the backside of it. So what I'm going to do, flip the camera around for the moment, show you the storm system that's going to be creating all of this impactful weather for the next couple of days. And like I said, we'll get started here in about 30 seconds to a minute. This will give me a chance to make sure everything's running smoothly behind the scenes. Again, normally it is, but I'd rather make sure of that than just hope that it is. But if you're tuning in right now, what you're looking at right now is the upper level low pressure trough that's going to slide into not only western Montana, but the west in general. And this is what's going to bring us some bigger impacts for the next couple of days. It's not just a one and done type of system in and out. This is going to be lingering for the next few days. And that's going to bring us a continued pattern of active weather, much like we have seen this week so far, though with maybe a little bit more impact in comparison to what we were seeing, say, earlier this weekend, even over the last 24 hours. All right, there's that. Everything does look to be working smoothly on my end, so let me flip this back around and I say, at this point, let's get started. If you have any comments or questions as we go throughout this update, feel free to ask those questions in the chat section, and I will keep a close eye on that, and I'll answer them as best as I can as we go throughout this. So overall, we're going to be looking at an increasingly active period of weather. We've seen some scattered rain and snow showers, primarily for areas west of the divide today. That will increase to all of western Montana as we go throughout the day tomorrow. And again, this is all being driven by this trough of low pressure. We've seen southwesterly flow throughout the day today, but you notice this area of spin right here close to the coastline, but right here in Oregon and California. This is going to continue to slide closer to western Montana, though more likely tracking more in this direction, so more of a glancing blow, but with it we will have a cold front that passes through as this trough as a whole dives over the west. We did have some scattered showers throughout the day today, like I was mentioning before, primarily up across northwest Montana. A few of those did work their way down towards the Missoula area and the Bitterroot Valley, and as well as Butte earlier this evening. For the most part, those have quieted down in a big way, but still, cloudy skies are common across the area, though we have had some clearing towards Missoula and Bozeman. Temperatures right now ranging from the upper 30s to the upper 40s. We did see highs, especially in southwest Montana, up into the 50s earlier on today. So it was another relatively pleasant day. The winds were up in southwest Montana. We saw gusts anywhere from about 25 to 45 miles per hour, with the strongest winds closer to, say, Livingston, Dillon, and Ennis, roughly along that line. But as we go throughout the rest of the night, we're looking at those temperatures just slowly falling back down into the 30s for most areas, though we will be at 28 for Seeley Lake in West Yellowstone, 32 in Bozeman and Butte, 34 in many areas, Dillon, Thompson Falls, Missoula, Hamilton, Polson, and Kalispell. So overall, pretty consistent temperatures overnight tonight. Areas along and south of Interstate 90 have the best chance of seeing some breaks in those clouds, but as we get closer to sunrise, those clouds will be increasing for areas west of the divide. And for tomorrow afternoon, these high temperatures will occur ahead in most areas ahead of the cold front that's going to be moving in. It'll arrive earlier for Kalispell and Missoula, so there may be a little bit more time for temperatures to warm up just a hair more after that cold front passage, but for places like Butte and Bozeman, we'll likely see those temperatures falling once that cold front reaches your area. But in general, once that cold front arrives, that's going to pretty much put a lid on how warm our temperatures get for tomorrow afternoon. Most areas just a little bit above average for this time of the year. 40s and low 50s. Bozeman will be our warmest at 51, just because it takes longer for that cold front to get there. 45 for Butte, 48 Missoula, 46 in Kalispell, and 45 as well over towards Thompson Falls, where that cold front will be arriving first there, as well as into Libby. Ahead of the cold front, you're going to just be relatively dry. though you will see that increase in cloud cover, and as that cold front's arriving, you're going to see that quick increase in moisture, and you'll see that here in Future Tracker momentarily with the general coverage of activity starting to diminish once you get behind the cold front, especially for areas west of the Divide. But going into radar, you can see those scattered showers primarily in west central Montana this afternoon and evening. Just a few of these lingering on towards, I'll actually stop this and we'll kind of analyze this on the fly right now. Just north of Butte, up into the mountains there, over towards, say, Avon and Elliston, up over McDonald Pass, towards Rogers Pass in this area, towards Lincoln, and then a few of these dotting showers over towards the Pintler Mountains, as well as towards the Bitterroot Mountains, and moving further south from the Bitterroot. So that's locally what we're seeing. But as I take a wider look, here comes the next plume of moisture, and this is going to be more associated with that storm system. Plenty of moisture back here into eastern Washington, moderate to occasionally heavy rainfall at times back here closer to Spokane. This is going to continue to work its way off to the north and east over the next few hours, and that's going to be in association with that cold front and the increasing shower activity. Going into Future Tracker, and that's a little further ahead than I wanted to, but I'll just back it up right here. We're going to see those showers increasing, maybe initially as we get to, say, 2-3 o'clock down in southwest Montana, places like West Yellowstone, over here towards Wisdom as well. But that's just, again, that's the first bit of this. By the time we get to, say, 6 to 7 a.m. tomorrow, getting close to that morning commute, we're looking at the main plume of moisture back here into northwest and west central Montana, accumulating snow in the mountains, so this could lead to travel impacts tomorrow morning over Lookout Pass, Lolo Pass, and maybe even towards Lost Trail as well, and then the passes along the state line in southwest Montana, Monida, Reynolds, and Targhee passes closer to West Yellowstone. This is all associated with that cold front where you've got the winds that are going to shift direction essentially from the south, transitioning out of the west. We'll see those showers once you get behind the cold front, which is going to be right near the front edge of this. You see how quickly the shower activity starts to dissipate. And that may be a key role, especially for the snowfall potential with the lowering snow levels for northwest and west central Montana. Showers will continue to move further east, getting close to the Interstate 15 corridor as we get closer to, say, lunchtime. You still see these southerly winds here, more of these westerly winds on the backside of it, and roughly where they collide here close to Interstate 15. That'll continue to its march off to the east. And one thing that's a little bit different with this in southwest Montana is, and I'll be honest, I don't know if it's that the front essentially starts washing out, or if it's more of the moisture is a little bit deeper down here closer to the low pressure system, where we see a little bit more enhancement of the precipitation really in this zone from Interstate 15 and east, and then south of Interstate 90. So this is going to be our primary area of focus for moderate to occasionally heavy snowfall, travel impacts into places like Dillon, Big Sky, Bozeman, Ennis, Virginia City, into the evening, at late afternoon and evening, as those snow levels crash down to valley floors. In this area, we could be talking about some heavy bursts of snowfall that could lead to reduced visibility on roads. So I'm looking at US 287, US 191, even back here onto Interstate 15 with some heavier snow bursts, maybe even some snow squalls, but also with the winds, we could see gusts 35 to 45 miles per hour helping to blow that snow. So be prepared if you're traveling in this zone tomorrow evening for rapidly changing road conditions, but also rapidly changing weather conditions in general. We'll continue to see, that was a little faster than I wanted. We'll continue to see those showers into early Friday morning, becoming a little bit more dispersed over towards Bozeman, but still hanging on. Much quieter back further to the west, maybe even some clearing into early Friday morning in northwest Montana, west central portions of the state. We're looking at those snow showers lingering in the mountains. But this may be the window where we see a light, maybe light dusting of snow for Kalispell, Missoula, Polson, Hamilton. Better chances, again, the further east you go from Butte and Dillon, that direction. Snow showers continue into early Friday morning, maybe some lingering showers for Bozeman into the morning commute, as well as another round that may try and develop back to the west as well. But again, this is our zone. If we see travel impacts, and I'll even bring it back over closer to Wisdom, and you'll see why here in a minute, we'll be looking at those potentially snow-covered and icy roads all the way into Friday morning. Showers become much more isolated in nature by the afternoon as the majority of that system pushes off to the south and east. We're still going to be under the influence of the trough, but we'll essentially be in the valley between storm systems at this point. Now, we do have the winter weather advisories, and this is why I mentioned bringing it back over here towards the Wisdom area. Chief Joseph Pass, we could be talking about some higher accumulations in the mountains there. So northwest Beaverhead County, and then the Gallatin and Madison County mountains and the Centennial Mountains are where we have winter weather advisories, and here is a rough breakdown of those. Northwest Beaverhead County, valleys and passes about 2 to 5 inches on average, mountain peaks up to 9 inches with those wind gusts upwards to about 35 miles per hour, and then the Gallatin and Madison County mountains and Centennial Mountains, higher valleys and passes in this area, I'll say most passes, about 3 to 7 inches, but some of our higher passes in this zone, as well as those mountain peaks, we could be closer to 9 to 13 inches with gusts upwards to 40 miles per hour. Now, one note, even outside of those winter weather advisories, so places like Butte, Homestake Pass, Cardwell Hill, Bozeman Pass over towards Livingston, and down to the Madison River Valley, there is the potential, just depending on how the snow bands develop and where those heaviest snowfall rates occur, we could see maybe 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. I think most areas will be less than 2 inches, in many areas probably still less than 1 inch. But there is one note for, especially like Bozeman, and I want to confirm if this is still the case. The National Weather Service in Great Falls put out a little interesting graphic that showed the potential for snowfall accumulations a little higher towards Bozeman. So while it's a much higher, or it's a much lower likelihood of this happening, I still want to bring it up if I can just get the right information pulled up here really quick. So give me just a second. Yes, so there is a wide range down in parts of southwest Montana. I have this pulled up, and this is directly from the National Weather Service's winter weather forecast there in Great Falls. Bozeman itself, ranging at the airport from less than an inch on the low end to the expected totals of about an inch. Then you get to the high side, which is actually closer to 5 inches. But in Bozeman proper, same type of situation, though the high end of this is up to 7 inches. Again, that's a low likelihood, less than, they have a full breakdown of percentages, but for 6 inches or more, it's about an 18% chance as compared to, say, a 71% chance of 2 inches, of seeing at least 2 inches. So that's just one area that's, we'll have to kind of just watch and see where those snow bands take shape. In general, a dusting up to 2 inches is expected, though in those highest potentials, we could be talking maybe 3 to 7 in a few very localized areas. Ennis is in sort of in the same boat. 1 to 2 inches is expected, though we could see some isolated totals closer to maybe 3 to 5 inches down towards Ennis. Dillon, a little bit further to the west, maybe not getting quite as much snowfall, but some isolated totals maybe closer to 3 inches will be possible. So, like I was saying, there's still a bit of a wide range, especially down across southwest Montana, that hopefully will get essentially resolved as we get into tomorrow morning. But with these snow bands, they could be very narrow. They could develop in a short period of time, and then as quickly as they appear, they dissipate and essentially go back into just into the general pattern of that snowfall. So, again, I've rambled on about that, but expect about a dusting up to 2 inches. Don't be surprised for a few areas of southwest Montana in the valleys. We see some slightly higher totals, perhaps as high as maybe 3 to 7 inches. Again, not expecting that, but the chance, that chance is there. So coming back around Main impacts will be up over our mountain passes, especially down here into northwest Beaverhead County and then the Gallatin and Madison County Mountains and Centennial Mountains. So places like Wisdom over towards Big Sky, West Yellowstone. That's where we're going to see those biggest issues. Looking at the snow level forecast just briefly, we'll see that drops down into Thursday and Friday. That's going to be behind the cold front. This also gives our valleys that best window for at least some light accumulations of snowfall into Friday afternoon before those snow levels start to rise as we see another storm system start to roll in, and we're looking at those precipitation chances staying on the high side Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and likely Tuesday, anywhere from about 50 to 90% across all of western Montana. Though with those warmer temperatures, most valleys, especially during the daytime, will be as rain for these events until maybe we get to Tuesday. And you'll see that here on our regional travel tracker and future tracker. As we get into Saturday, snow levels likely around that 4,000 to 5,000 foot range. Once again, widespread but scattered activity. Northwest, west central Montana, increasing into southwest Montana briefly into Saturday afternoon. That wave starts to briefly dissipate, and then Sunday, here comes another, maybe more cohesive storm system. Same type of impacts, though, for our valleys if we do see snowfall. Not counting Butte, because Butte is a little bit higher in elevation. Same thing with Bozeman, you'll be close as well. But back into west central, northwest Montana, the window will be early morning hours when those temperatures drop to their coldest, that we could see a little bit of snowfall try and settle in. This model into Sunday night, a little bit more aggressive. Sunday night and Monday morning, maybe bringing more of that snow towards, say, the Missoula Valley as compared to the Mission and Flathead Valleys, as well as into the Bitterroot Valley. So another one of those things we'll have to keep an eye on. Maybe a band of more moderate snowfall moving towards Butte, Phillipsburg, Deer Lodge, in that area into Monday morning, right in for St. Patrick's Day. And unfortunately, one change from yesterday is from Monday morning through about mid-afternoon, most of the snow is up here in northwest Montana. Models have trended further south of this, so this is looking at really at noon, just in time for the St. Patrick's Day parade in the mining city. We could be talking about a mix of rain and snow in town for that event. Coming back into Saturday, likely looking at some rain showers for the some spotty rain showers. We may be okay for the St. Patrick's Day parade in Missoula, at least as this particular model is, but increasing shower activity is expected through the day. But at least as of right now, Monday does look a little bit soggy for Butte as well as Missoula and Bozeman. That continues into Tuesday morning, but that's also when the snow levels will likely fall again. Another cold front passes through and could bring another little quick hit of accumulating snowfall for areas along and south of Interstate 90 into Tuesday afternoon and maybe even Wednesday morning. So I believe that's everything that I have specifically for this update. I jumped off of the comments section. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask those really quick as I start to wrap this up in preparation for getting ready for the 10 o'clock show. But feel free to ask a couple of questions about this storm system, and I'll be happy to answer them. Trying to think. Main takeaways. Cold fronts arriving tonight. Increasing showers initially for northwest and west central Montana into tomorrow morning's commute. It could be a little bit soggy, so having the rain gear may not be a bad idea for work and school tomorrow morning. Main travel impacts for areas west of the Divide are going to be back over our mountain passes, especially those along the state line. Look out Lolo, Marias, where some slushy accumulations of snow, potentially as high as maybe 2 to 6 inches, will be possible. Cold front passes through, temperatures will start to fall throughout the day, and by Thursday evening, snow levels will be approaching valley floors, if not already down to valley floors. Focus will be southwest Montana. For accumulating snowfall in most valley areas, we're likely talking a dusting maybe to an inch or two. Isolated totals maybe in that 3 to 7 inch range, but those are on the lower side of the likelihood for our valleys. Mountains, especially northwest Beaverhead County and the Gallatin and Madison County Mountains and Centennial Mountains, could be talking more into that 3 to 8 inch range for passes, and higher elevation valleys, maybe 9 to 14 inches for those mountain peaks. So a good snow event for Our mountain snowpack certainly will take all of it that we can get. We've been seeing at least a little bit of that the last few days, so we've seen this active weather pattern. But overall, we're starting to get into the, I'll call the core of this active weather pattern. It's been more spotty the last few days, but we'll see those consistently high precipitation chances, anywhere from 60 to 90%, really from now all the way until likely Tuesday. We're going to just, be soggy, a bit on the cool side, a bit on the active side. These storms don't necessarily look anything major, impressive, or impactful, but there will be impacts in each section's own right. For tomorrow with that cold front, we could be talking some gusty winds at times, 30 to 40 miles per hour. I think the highest likelihood of that will be down in southwest Montana. With the snowfall, reduced visibility in those snow bands will be possible, and maybe some brief heavy snow squalls will be possible. So I haven't seen any comments, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. Thank you all again for tuning in tonight. If you have any photos or videos of the rain and snow as it rolls in, even those winds kicking up, certainly feel free to share those with us at nbcmontana.com/chime in. If you have any snowfall reports as we go into tomorrow, and especially into Friday morning in southwest Montana, you can share a photo with your snowfall measurement, maybe a ruler or whatnot, and share those to chime in as well. And then tune into our live broadcast tonight at 10. I'll have the latest weather updates. We've got some new weather models that are coming in right now. Not expecting too much to change, but there always is some minor adjustments here and there. And the Normal Staples will have our latest news updates. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, as this storm system is rolling in, tune in for NBC Montana Today with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster and Jason Hurst starting at 5. And with that, I'll finish this up. I'll see you all in the next one. I'll likely be back for tomorrow evening on YouTube Live. Probably about the same time as what we're seeing tonight. And with that, I will finish up. Have a great evening, have a safe evening, and I'll see you all on the next one. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Coombs.